Ayo, how's everyone? You're with me, Mr. Dex, and a massive welcome to the channel. I've been a little bit shy on sniper-specific content for the past few months. I'm trying to avoid getting pigeonholed into that role, but sadly, despite my efforts with the other classes recently, Scout is still easily my best, both in terms of skill and in knowledge of the mechanics and how well they fit in with the game as a whole. Now, I do apologize, I wasn't fortunate enough to have been able to attend EA Play this year, so again, I'm sorry for having to use Battlefield 1 footage. It's all I have, sadly, with the copyright issues, but I have posted some links in the description of a couple of those bigger YouTubers testing out the sniper class. I think Stodder's got the best clips at the moment, no surprises there. It will give you an idea of what's possible if you want to use the sniper more aggressively, so if you like, why not open one of those in a new tab with the audio on mute to give you a better context for this video. Feel free, I won't be offended. Now, as for my overall thoughts on the multiplayer reveal, I thought it was less confusing and definitely better than the initial reveal, but to be honest, it felt like kind of more of the same. And I'm not so sure announcing Battle Royale at that conference was timed particularly well either. You know, you've barely scraped through with the first controversy, so then you go and announce something that might start another, without then revealing any further details. Doesn't really sound like a smart move. I mean, I'm still going to try it, don't get me wrong. I just felt like they weren't focusing on what we actually wanted to see, that being the actual gameplay. Speaking of which, today I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on how the sniper gameplay looks like in Battlefield 5, based on the gameplay I've seen during streams and what players have uploaded onto YouTube. So jumping right in with probably the biggest change to sniper gameplay, the sweet spot mechanic is gone. Yes, it's gone. Will it stay gone? My guess is probably yes. I don't think they'll bring it in before the game launches, if they ever do at all. I think that most people are probably going to be fairly happy about this, especially the PC community, and it's definitely consistent with many of the other changes to gameplay mechanics, as there's been a pretty heavy emphasis on making the game more challenging and more skillful than in Battlefield 1, which does lead me to suspect a revival of the competitive incursions mode at some point in the game's development. So if I'm honest with you, removing the sweet spot mechanic has not really been all that surprising. The second major change I've noticed, aside from what looks like a slightly more exaggerated bullet drop, is a significant drop in bullet damage. And again, I wish I could show you some footage, but from what I saw, the headshot hitbox has seemed maybe slightly more forgiving and effective than in Battlefield 1. But you're not always going to do a heap of damage if you're aiming for the torso, averaging around the 70 mark and dropping as low as 53 damage for a shot to the upper body, as I saw in one instance. I found it pretty difficult to gauge the damage model for these rifles, but it seemed like it was a fairly linear damage drop-off, so the further away your target is, the less damage you seem to do, which is bad news for the long-range campers and perfectly fine for everybody else. So in combination, what it appears we have is a pretty radical nerf for the Scout class. No more one-hit kills to the body, and the bullets themselves are going to do less damage as well. I think this is going to make sniping much more challenging for sure, which is probably a good thing. Definitely for those on PC, and I guess console players like myself will have to learn to adapt. However, I've been having a bit of a think, and potentially this change is less of a nerf and more of a restructuring of the class balancing, because yes, Scouts are going to be doing less damage than what we've seen in Battlefield 1, but players in general are going to be running around with less health as well. Remember that we aren't going to be automatically healing anymore, we're going to have to need to find a supply station or be healed up by a medic. So if you think about it, it doesn't really make sense to give these Scouts the ability to consistently deal 80 to 90 damage and occasionally deal the full 100% with a chest shot. If, say, for example, the average amount of health a player has is 75. That would just be crazy. So what does all this mean for sniper gameplay, and what kind of strategies will come out of it? Well, it's hard to say, if I'm going to be honest with you, especially having not played it myself. But from what I can tell, it actually might work out to be a pretty similar experience for snipers. But instead of being able to almost guarantee a one-hit kill at certain ranges, you're going to have to be much more skillful and accurate. Or of course the other player will have had to make a mistake and run out into the open, or have otherwise been already damaged. And I think this is fairer, to be honest with you. It gives players more power over their own gameplay, and they are much less likely to be killed by someone camping in their sweet spot range, or through other circumstances outside of their control. Meaning if they do get killed by a sniper, they were either exposed long enough for the sniper to get a second shot off, they were hit in the head, or they were already injured at the time. And in all these cases, either you've made a mistake, or the sniper's been rewarded for their accuracy, and you gotta go, well, that's fair enough. So all in all, I don't think these changes really equate to a nerf, just a general restructuring of the balancing system, and a good decision by DICE that will make it fair for everyone. So all in all, I don't think these changes really equate to a nerf, just a general restructuring of the balancing system, and a good decision by DICE that will make it fair for everybody. This will be my last video, I think, before I go away on a short vacation. I may post a final montage or something before I leave, but on my return, I'll have access to much faster internet that will allow me to stream my own gameplay and post videos more regularly. So if you like what you've seen in the video, why not support the channel and throw us a subscribe, or at least keep an eye out for me come July. But anyway guys, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. My name is Mr. Dex. Till next time, take care.